Hi, everyone. This is the fourth of four presentations about the conjugation of verbs in the present subjunctive. This one deals with stem changing verbs in the present subjunctive. Before we think about how stem changes work in the present subjunctive, let's take a moment to review the whole concept of the stem change. Verbs in the present tense of the indicative that have stem changes only have primary changes. They are E to IE, O to UE, and E to I. The primary changes follow the shoe-shaped pattern, what I call in class the characteristically shoe-shaped box. Here are some examples in the indicative. Please note that these examples are not in the subjunctive. They're not in the subjunctive. Not in the subjunctive. Are these examples in the subjunctive? That's right, Kitty. They are in the indicative. And E to IE, stem change. Pensar, pienso, piensas, piensa, pensamos, pensáis, piensan. And we see the characteristically shoe-shaped box. Preferir, prefiero, prefieres, prefiere, preferimos, preferís, prefieren. And we see the characteristically shoe-shaped box. O to UE. Dormir, duermo, duermes, duerme, dormimos, dormís, duermen. And we see the characteristically shoe-shaped box. E to I. Repetir, repito, repites, repite, repetimos, repetís, repiten. And again, we see the characteristically shoe-shaped box that we would anticipate with stem-changing verbs in the present indicative. The same primary changes occur in the present tense of the subjunctive in AR and ER verbs. Some examples of the present subjunctive for AR and ER verbs. Please note that these examples are indeed in the subjunctive. They are the subjunctive. Yes, they are. Are the following examples in the subjunctive? Correct, puppy. They are in the subjunctive. Pensar, presente de subjuntivo. Piense, pienses, piense, pensemos, penséis, piensen. Poder, pueda, puedas, pueda, podamos, podáis, puedan. That is the present subjunctive of poder. Characteristic shoe-shaped box. Now, before we can continue with stem changes in the subjunctive, it's necessary for us to consider the secondary changes. Every primary stem change has a secondary stem change. E to IE has E to I. O to UE has O to U. E to I has E to I. Los cambios secundarios. Oops, I switched languages. The secondary changes do not occur in the present, in ER, or that's supposed to be in AR or ER verbs. Verbs that don't have stem changes, of course. And they do occur in IR verbs that have stem changes, in the third person of the preterite, and in the first and second person plural of the subjunctive, the nosotros and vosotros form. The form of the box inside which these secondary changes occur is different and flat. So because of that, we've called these verbs sandal verbs or verbos de suela. This part of the shoe is called in Spanish la suela. And that is why I have called these verbs that have secondary changes in the preterite, the IR verbs that stem change in the present, sol verbs. An example of each of the secondary stem changes in the preterite. E to IE, which changes E to I in the secondary change. Preferir en pretérito. Preferí, preferiste, prefirió, preferimos, preferistes, prefirieron. And we see the flat box stem change, the sandal verb, the sol verb. Dormir en pretérito is O to U in the secondary change. Dormí, dormiste, durmió, dormimos, dormistes, durmieron. We see the characteristically flat shape box of the secondary stem change in the preterite. A sandal verb, a sol verb. Repetir en pretérito, at the risk of saying this again. Repetí, repetiste, repitió, repetimos, repetistes, repitieron. And we see again the characteristically flat box of the sandal verb or the sol verb. An example of each of the secondary stem changes in the present subjunctive. A stem changing IR verb in the present subjunctive has both changes. It has the primary changes in the shoe shape box, and it has the secondary changes in the form of nosotros and vosotros. Please don't ask me why. So the primary in the shoe shape box, and the secondary changes in the nosotros and vosotros form. Let's look at each one. I to I with the secondary change I to I. Preferir en presente de subjuntivo, prefiera, prefieras, prefiera, prefiramos, prefiráis, prefieran. And we see the primary stem change in the shoe shape box and the secondary stem change in nosotros and vosotros, as promised. Dormir en presente de subjuntivo, duerma, duermas, duerma, durmamos, durmais, duerman. And we see the primary change in the shoe shape box, and dormamos and dormais make the secondary change in vosotros, are nosotros and vosotros. Repetir en presente de subjuntivo, repita, repitas, repita, repitamos, repitáis, repitan. That is the same stem change E to I, but it is the primary stem change in the shoe shape box and the secondary stem change in the nosotros and vosotros form in theory, even though you can't see the difference or hear the difference. They are actually different stem changes. So it's worth noting in the different colors. Lo esencial de esta presentación, what should you take away from this presentation? A, verbs that stem change in AR and ER in the present subjunctive have the primary stem change that is in the shoe shape box. Pensar, you see the characteristically shoe-shaped box in the E to IE stem change in the present subjunctive. And poder, O to UE, you see the characteristically shoe-shaped box in the present subjunctive. B, verbs that stem change, IR verbs, I should say, that stem change in the present subjunctive have the secondary stem changes in the nosotros and vosotros form, as well as the primary stem changes in the shoe shape box. Preferir, you can see it has both. Dormir, you can see it has both. And repetir theoretically has both, even though you really can't see the difference between the two, but the colors tell you. So with that, we end With that fourth part of the conjugation of verbs in the present subjunctive, we conclude our review of the conjugation. Thank you for listening, and see you soon.